I remember when I was younger, it could be confused for like being conceited, but no one knows the other side of the conceited girl.
So you were conceited because that was the choice. You can be confident. You could have said confident, but you know that it's conceited and arrogant.
I'd gone to school, paid for it. For 4 years, I was a server, waiting tables, paying for every single course, and then you graduate to make $11.50 an hour, to make a $24,000 a year salary. I was already driving a BMW because I was making a lot of tips. At that point, it's like, okay, I'm not in my career. I can't afford my car. I can't afford my rent. Praise Jesus, I had a father who could help me financially. If not, I couldn't stay afloat.
What was the most critical thing you learned in those first few months of experiencing a brand new way of making a living?
I learned that life is good. I learned that no matter what rut you're in, there's another page and there's another chapter.
Life is good when you don't care about anyone but yourself, when you prioritize your experience above everyone else's. You know, I suppose life is good when all those things happen. But if you have the empathy to see and feel what other people are doing and what they're experiencing, you know, life is not that good. Hi, fancy meeting you here in this little old place. I'm Tish, and this is Echo Echo. I've got like a mega shade somewhere there, because I would like to work on art while I finish off this podcast. It's Duggan. Oh no, I can't do that one, because I don't have it downloaded. The internet has decided to... It's like, nope. No internet for you today. No. So I don't know what's going on. So what am I going to do instead? I think I might do Veronica. I was going to cover Veronica. Alright, so Veronica... Oh, also, it's been more than 7 days since the last thing with Murphy. Just FYI. So, it's going better. And I had to buy a freaking, I have a big carpet cleaner that is expensive, that is broken, and I just sent it back last week to get fixed. I was like, I'm not trying to scam you, I love my carpet cleaner, I just want to get it fixed. But I had to go and get a spot cleaner, like a littler version, just for the meantime, because it's been raining here and I desperately needed to. Because everything sort of gets a little bit dank and gross if you don't clean stuff up. Because the dogs are hopeless. They're getting a little bit better because we have a little potty area on the veranda, and it's like a little grassy area, so that's good. Okay, so for those of you who do not know the deep lore of Veronica Bay, her name's actually Veronica Bayona. No, it's not even that. What? Who do you think you are, Tish? It's Veronica Schreier, because she got married. How is it in one window and not... Oh, I found it. Okay. This is gonna suck, isn't it? I know it is. Veronica and I have matching necklaces. Oh my god. You see my necklace? This is Tish. And I've got some watermelons. Because free Palestine. Oh, it's my sign. I moved my sign into here. Oh, I don't know if those lights are going to be off-putting. They're the growing lights. They're the growth lights for the plants. I don't love my hair today. Okay, so Veronica Schreier is an interesting character. I've covered her quite extensively. She was in Monate. She was the second best rank. She was an executive director on a lot of money per year. She left to go to iGenius. I believe I would hazard a guess that she was terminated for being in two companies. Will, no. Will, come back, please. I've got Will by that. Come on. by the lead, so he doesn't run away, and we don't have to change that number. Sorry. Apologies for the noise. Yeah, I think she joined iGenius thinking that she'd be able to do both because it's not a direct competition to Monate, but I think Monate has a strict, just no other, well, strict for some people. White, probably the white people. Anyway, that's how, like, I can't understand why Veronica is conservative. She's already been betrayed by people. Like, she's already been judged. Minnie, put your nipples away. Cutie. It's a cutie. Murphy's there too. I'm gonna get a dog light. I know that. Yeah, so she was with iGenius for a while, but she said that was, hastily. She went into that business, whatever. Then she left MLM. She's like, I'm out. She got a real estate license. Then joined DXP Realty for like a week. And then she was being prospected by a number of companies, including Amare, and she was sent to Utah on Amare's dime and got recruited by some doTERRA people. So she's an oily hun. Alright, that's where we are. She's also pregnant at the moment. The crazy eyes. The crazy eyes. Alright, this doesn't have to be too high. I mean too big because they're just talking on this podcast, which is 49 minutes. Yeah, hopefully I might stop to have dinner in the middle of this. Is this very loud? Hello? I don't know if this is going to be loud enough. Hello? Okay, let's listen.
Be damned if someone that I know, unfortunately, I could see right through the man, and I could tell he has a ton of issues at home, a ton of issues in his life, in his heart, unresolved, and I just looked at myself and I'm like, you're going to put yourself in the leadership of this person?
God, what the fuck is she... What is she talking about? Who does she think she is? See how we've got matching necklaces? She would never have the watermelon one, though. No doubt. Hey, Mabel.
Like, what are you doing? You're taking a million steps backwards. And I just knew I had to get out because every day I hated my life. So if you wake up hating your life, that's just not a good recipe. And I didn't know.
And it's not a good recipe for what? Recipe for success?
How the story, I did not know what I was going to do at all. Hey guys, my name is Veronica Schreier and this is Entrepreneur Unleashed.
I don't like that. That's not her podcast. She looks filtered to the gods at the moment. I don't know who this guy is. He could just be rando guy. Don't know who he is. Could be in network marketing, like all the network marketers. Like, oh, we should. The one thing they say is, "Oh, we're so funny. Our friend group is so funny. We should have a reality TV show." No, wrong. If that was going to work, Era's girls would have picked up. And oh, I have so many business skills to give you. I should start I'll start a podcast. To share my skills. I think. Oh, that's right. It was Erin reading Eric to Phil, Kelsey Ray's partner, for his terrible training and selling ketones and pay upfront $1,000 upfront for an in-person Zoom meeting. He was saying like, oh, this is how you get into Airbnb. I'll do a video about it. It's like, you bought one Airbnb. You are not an expert. Like, why does everybody think they can teach stuff? All right. I don't know.
Welcome back to another episode of Entrepreneur Unleashed. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm joined in the studio by Veronica Schreier. If you guys have been following me at any length, you know that I'm a firm believer that the best way to shortcut your journey of success is to learn vicariously through others. And today, I have an amazing story for you.
What is Veronica doing? I don't feel comfortable with the stare down. It's very intimidating.
The story you're about to hear is life-changing, not only for her, but for anyone who's interested in learning from her experience. And
I'm sorry if you're not watching the screen at the moment, but it's the skeptic's face. That's what I've got. Resting skeptic face. That's me. What can people learn from Veronica's example? That you get far on privilege.
Being said, I can't delay any further. I just want to jump right into a conversation. Veronica, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to get this going and excited to see where the conversation takes us.
Well, I know that I've learned a little bit about you in the time that we've gotten to know each other, but
I've learned this. Are you trying to hit a word limit? That's what I'm feeling right now. Just very wordy.
a lot of the audience doesn't know you. So if you wouldn't mind, just give us like a snapshot of who Veronica is today, where you are today, and then we could just have a conversation.
She's a wife.
So where Veronica is today, I guess the best way to put that is a woman who really knows who she is.
I was thinking she was going to, be, I'm in my feminine, I'm in my wifey mode. No, she's still selfish. She just started off with herself.
And what she wants. And my journey is a journey of evolution of thinking I wanted something, right? Going to college for news reporting, becoming a news reporter, and then recognizing, wait, a lot of the things I desire don't come with this career.
Is that really it? Could it be that you expected to, be a news anchor immediately, that you didn't have to be a cadet journalist and earn the right to get a what's it called? To go up the ladder. And you didn't like that because you weren't the star straight away, and so you chose to do network marketing because it was easier for you.
And, praying about it and having opportunities arise and taking them. So, I built my success on network marketing for about 4.5 years. And then last year, as we discussed, was a very pivotal year in my life where I just had, once again, to ask the hard questions of, are you fulfilled? Are you in the right environment? And what is your true purpose? And in that,
I can't wait to hear what she thinks her true purpose is, because yeah, I know what she actually wants. Money, and maybe status.
That I just want to truly be around people where we can do good together. And with that decision came a change has been done with a purpose, and it is to live a more authentic life, to be more fulfilled, because success is great, right? And money's amazing, but money does not.
Money's amazing, but no, that's what you want.
By that feeling in your heart when you are just in the right place. So Veronica is a woman who is very curious. She never gets tired of learning.
What about learning about trans people so that you don't spout ignorant bullshit? Yeah? Do you want to learn about that? You want to learn anything about what you say is wokeism? Yeah? The woke agenda that doesn't actually exist because there's more conservatives in places of power in America. She don't want to fucking learn anything. She's ignorant as fuck.
Extremely bold and courageous, and I think that because of those things...
I agree. I don't think she's courageous. I agree that she's bold. The fucking audacity of this person. She's so arrogant.
I've been able to achieve what I have and just become the woman that I am today.
There's so much to unpack there, because your story is amazing. I think
how?
What I'd like to try to do first is just talk.
How is her story amazing? I was in journalism school, then I didn't do it, and then I found network marketing. Amazing story, Stu. I don't know what his name is. James. Bill.
Concept of career, right? Because you had mentioned that you started your career really in one genre, and you've shifted over the course of your lifetime so far. But I'm curious, what led you to think that broadcast?
Money, 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 money.
And that industry was the industry for you. How did that come about?
So I really believe in people and stories, and I believe that we can... I know this sounds so, I don't know, lame for many, but I actually...
Cliche. It is lame because anyone who's involved in network marketing who's at the top, you don't give a fuck about people. So it's a poor excuse.
that we can change the world.
Yes.
You know, that is an unpopular belief for many because they think that you're daydreaming, but I have that true belief.
You can't. Only for the worse. You can change things for the worse. That's it.
And I learned about journalism, and I learned about old school journalism and how these journalists were impacting politics and they were impacting policy. And
Is that what you want to do? You want to impact policy and politics? Because that is fucking terrifying, in my opinion, because of her conservative values.
just thought, like, wait, I can do that. And I got so excited. So I not only studied in college journalism, but all throughout high school. My 4 years in high school, I was the main anchor. And, you know, with this big vision of we could do something great. And I think that once I actually got into the industry and I saw how corrupt it is, and I got to experience the first time where my news director told me, hey, we're taking your story down because our advertiser doesn't like it. It was
I've never heard her say these things, and she's talked about why she left a billion times. I've never heard her talk about being censored. The reason why she left was because she was a one-man band. She had to do her own filming and sourcing and things like that because she was in a smaller place. She was just a cadet journalist. She didn't have very much power or money, and she was miles away from home. So it's interesting that she's saying that. How do you know that it's corrupt, right? And I mean, American media does have its, like, you know, fringe dwelling trolls amongst them. You know, you just have to look at how they've reported on Palestine. But yeah, no, I would have thought that you would have heard this before now, because she has been so outspoken. She's never said stuff like this before when she would normally spill. She don't keep anything in, you know. I don't believe her, is what I'm saying.
Guns, and this man, you know, he owned a pawn shop that sold mostly guns. I recognized, like, how could we be editing and muting out valuable stories? And it just, I wasn't getting paid enough for it. You know, and it's like, if I'm going to be getting paid nothing, but I'm actually going to be able to do investigative work, I don't care, I'm all for it. I would take the noble job. But
how can you say that? You didn't. You did the opposite of what you just said. You joined Mon8 with your sister because you weren't making enough money as a journalist. You weren't willing to wait.
It was not what it used to be. So that's when I recognized, you know, why do it? And so many times I look back and I'm like, I'm so grateful I didn't let fear stop me. Because so many people identify that they're not doing the right thing. They're not in the right place. And it's just that fear that keeps them there. Like, I've already come this far.
Yeah, do you know what that would be? It's not about fear. Some people stay in a job because they're willing to work in it and they don't have any other options. So it's privilege that you're able to walk away from it and into something else. Pure privilege.
And I will not trade 8 years of my life for the rest of my life. Who cares what I had already invested? Like, I learned from it, I grew from it, and it was part of who I am, but it was, you know, time to turn the page.
Well, I think it's important. You recognized who you were in that
Murphy!
My life for the rest of my life. Who cares what I had already invested? Like, I learned from it, I grew from it, and it was part of who I am, but it was, you know, time to turn the page.
Well, I think it's important. You recognized who you were in that moment. And you recognize what you wanted, right? A lot of people don't have that, right? They don't have the insight and the introspection to know what their own character is and where their sense of fulfillment comes, like from where. I'm curious, like, how did you develop that awareness, right? That because that's not something that, again, comes easy to everyone.
Yeah. So funny enough, I was this weekend learning from a Navy SEAL who was talking about traumas. And this is a man who's been through a lot of traumas. And at the end of the story, I mean, we recognize that our traumas can actually be our strength. And from a very young age, I grew up feeling very unseen and unloved.
This is not true. She might have felt that way, but she has always talked about being spoiled, and like her family, they're all very, you know, I think she's the youngest. She's always been spoiled. Like, she's always been talking about it. And, you know, like, when she got married, she talked about that.
the home that I grew up in. It's not that I had bad parents, it's just they were doing the best they knew how to. But I feel like through that journey, I sort of had to prove.
So her parents were good, but she was unloved and unseen. That's contradictory statements.
Myself, like who I was, which made me be successful at everything that I did. And it was me and me. It was just me and me. So I was
because she's impossible to develop a relationship with because she's so shallow and selfish. Like, this woman does not think of anyone else in her life.
Having conversations with myself, asking myself, like, the things that I wish that maybe like my parents asked me. It's like, no, I learned I had to be my strength, because if not, I was going to be a nobody. And if I let the lack of love, penetrate deep down and like cause all these wounds, I was going to be a nobody. So I just decided to be my best friend.
You are a nobody now. Nobody knows you. You're a nobody. You do not have any profile as anything. I'm covering you as anti-MLM, and I don't even do that often because you're not a very good person. Like,
And to grow this crazy confidence that sometimes people, I remember when I was younger, it could be confused for like being conceited, but no one knows the other side of the conceited girl.
Right. So you were conceited because that was the choice. You can be confident. You could have said confident, but you know that it's conceited and arrogant.
They don't know like the pain of not feeling enough. And then,
well, isn't that interesting? Because, I mean, you sure have been that way with other people where you've, been nasty to them when you maybe didn't know the other side. I've got voice notes of her, like, being really nasty.
Yourself be enough. And I just think that I just created this beautiful relationship with myself. And I almost like vowed to myself, like, I will never let you down. I'm going to protect you. And whatever cost it takes, like, you're not going to suffer. Your suffering is done. You're now an adult. And now it's your turn to take care of you. And that's what I did.
And
Isn't that interesting? The way that MLMs are successful. You need a team to be successful. You need to have recruited. You depend on other people for your success. So you depended on yourself and your downline. Don't forget them. That's the reason why you have a lot of what you have today. And to basically say, oh, it was all me. Fuck out of here.
At what age was this like transformation from a mindset standpoint taking place?
That was very young, I feel like, but I would continue with the rebellion of...
You're an adult? You said you're an adult now. What the hell? It's like she's 100 years old.
Of recognizing, okay, I'm taking care of myself, but I still want attention from my parents, so I would do rebellious things. I would get in trouble. Yeah. I was the honors student, but also the one that was getting in all the trouble. So I had teachers that would like vouch for me, like, please let Veronica go to prom. She's, in the cheer squad and she's our news anchor. And then, it was a lot.
Yeah, isn't that interesting that you were a cheerleader and the news anchor for the... Like, tell us again about how you got into trouble and it affected your life. Because there's not many people who are cheerleaders. It just doesn't seem like those two things match up. She was an honors student as well. She just said, I don't believe her. I flat out don't believe her.
But I think in college, there was a pivotal moment where I paid someone to take a class for me because I thought I was better than the class. I was like, world religion, I don't need this, right? I thought I was superior. It was a very humbling moment when the person that I paid to take the class plagiarized. I was called out for cheating. I failed the class, and then they told me you have to pay to take it again. And I was paying for my schooling.
Yes.
So at that moment...
Did your parents give you the money to pay for it? Because I think they did. Because they're well off. Like, come on now. Shut the fuck up. I haven't heard this story before, though. It's interesting that she didn't want to learn about the other religions. Maybe she's only just been talking about this religion thing since she's been in MLM, maybe. I don't know.
The self-reflection hit. And I'm really good at self-reflecting. Like, you can't tell me something about me that I don't already know because I'm my own biggest critic. And at that moment, I just said, Veronica.
Yeah, are you your own biggest critic? And that means you very rarely actually say that you do anything wrong. Very rarely. Like I said, I'm surprised that she said anything about this class that she paid someone to take for her.
Who are you trying to trick? Like, there's no shortcuts. You want to take a shortcut, you're going to hit a wall. You want to trust someone else other than yourself, you're going to hit a wall.
Well, I suppose that did happen at Monade, because she did eventually get terminated, I think. I don't know that for sure. Yeah, you have to trust other people in network marketing. Let's not forget that.
And I think that moment was really when I said, okay, now you're really done with all your childish ways. Enough, no more. You're an adult and you have to take care of you.
Wow. And that experience obviously pushed you into a trajectory that your life is now, right? Obviously you went through different seasons, but ultimately it pushed you forward where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
When you look at the driving force beyond just like that self-reflection, like how do things like discipline and tenacity flow into what you're doing?
You know, a lot of successful people that I know have actually really broken childhood stories. So sometimes when I see people that haven't accomplished much, but they look very normal, I'm like, oh, well, lucky you. Maybe you just had a really good life.
Yeah.
Ew. And your childhood wasn't broken. You didn't describe anything that was that bad. You didn't go into any depth, and I've never heard you talk about, like, doesn't mean that it wasn't all, you know, a bed of roses. Not at all. Like, I get it that she put a lot of pressure on herself to succeed, and
But for me, it was just like the self-critic in me. Like, I knew I had to succeed. And if at any moment I was doing anything to self-sabotage that success, there was a voice in my head that was just tearing me up.
Okay.
Which is not a nice answer, perhaps, right? You want something more colorful, but it was just my truth. I was self-judging myself harder than anyone else. So I'm a woman.
Self-judging myself harder than anyone else. And you wanted to be a news anchor, and that's how you talk. Yeah, good work.
Of my word. And I just believe that if you say something, like, you have to do it. So if I was going to tell myself I need to achieve this goal, there was no if, ands, or buts.
Right.
You just figure it out. And, you know, when I would find myself procrastinating, I would recognize, like, well, I would tell myself, you just get the job done. So you figure it out.
Right.
And I always conditioned my mind to become this personality that just figures it out.
Right.
And one of the most toxic traits I think people have is how they speak about themselves. And they say that they are all their flaws they highlight, which I've never understood.
Because she's perfect?
Because I thoroughly understand my flaws, but I'm not going to name myself my flaw. I'm going to, you know, work to overcome it. So it was simply that. It was having that self-awareness of no one is going to do the work but you, so you have to take action. Fears are nothing but, you know, part of the journey.
Yeah.
You know, you don't feel fear and stop. You feel fear and you get through it, because then you could look back at that fear and be like, ha ha ha, you tried to stop me, but I'm stronger than you.
I love that.
And at that moment you become invincible, because now...
Yeah, that's a real... It's just too perfect, you know? Like, oh, I never let fear get in my way.
Anytime you feel fear, you already know how the story ends.
I like to analyze and analogize to the fact that pretty much everything is like doing push-ups, right? No matter what it is, no one can do the push-ups for you. If you want the benefit of whatever it is, you have to go through the struggle to get there.
Yeah.
And you've gone through some struggle, right? So you found yourself in a career that was not fulfilling, that was not leading to your outcome. Like, what was the thought process in that moment where you said, I've had enough? Like, what was it that actually catapulted you to make the change?
Well, when you feel like dying,
Okay.
I think that's, you know, a life-changing.
This woman doesn't understand, like, the amount of times she'll trauma dump, you know, and I've never heard her talk about being suicidal, right? It feels like she is taking other people's stories because hers are not sad enough or bad enough.
I had gone to school, paid for it. For 4 years, I was a server, waiting tables, paying for every single course. And then you graduate to make $11.50 an hour. To make a $24,000 a year salary, I was already driving a BMW because I was making a lot of tips.
Right,
so
right.
at that point, it's like, okay, I'm not in my career. I can't afford my car. I can't afford my rent. Praise Jesus, I had a father who could help me financially. If not, I couldn't stay afloat.
Tell us again about how you were all on your own, Veronica. Oh, yeah, sure.
But it was really
And how many college kids come out of, like, college with just, like, no work experience with a BMW? Sure.
understanding that I would go into this studio, and my news director was just someone who I just did not respect at all. Like, this guy had no sense of growth, of people, of connection, synergy, and I was like, this is the person I have to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, I will be damned if someone that I know, unfortunately.
Yeah, yep. Sometimes you have to listen to shitty people. But obviously she didn't, because she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to do that. She's not like the rest of us.
I could see right through the man, and I could tell he has a ton of issues at home, a ton of issues in his life, in his heart, unresolved.
Right.
And I would just looked at myself and I'm like, you're going to put yourself in the leadership of this person? Like, what are you doing? You're taking a million steps backwards. And I just knew.
How do you think you move up the chain as a journalist? You do what that guy asks you to do? Maybe he didn't like you. Maybe that's all it was. He didn't like you. And that would be understandable.
I had to get out because every day I hated my life. So if you wake up hating your life, that's just not a good recipe. And I didn't know I did not know what I was going to do at all.
Okay.
And I will tell you what I did is I turned to prayer.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're a man of faith, but for me, it's all I knew to do.
So it wasn't your sister signing you up as a market partner at Monate? So wasn't that? And she's going to mention, oh, that's what answered my prayers. Sure.
I had no other outlets. It's like I just picked up everything from Miami. I moved to Mississippi, and I'm seeing all of these things, and like, what do I do now?
I think that she just hated Mississippi. Like, it's in the... Like, she thought that... Because she was the anchor for her high school and then her college. And it's like, once you get out into the big bad world, you're one of many people who could be a news anchor. And you have to be pretty good to make it to the top. Especially when your voice... She can't change the tone, a lot of things about her voice, but the way she talks is very monotone. There's not a lot of life to it, The cadence, she doesn't change her cadence a lot. That's the thing. She's hard to listen to if she was doing like the news.
Oh, do I just stay unhappy or I take action? And I prayed a lot, and then this opportunity came to me through my sister. My older sister was like, hey, I know you're struggling financially. I found this company and we can sell some products online and make money.
There you go. Imagine being prospected by your sister so easily as that. Ooh. Yikes.
And when she told me that, I was like, you're insane. I'm a news reporter. I'm not going to sell shampoo. Like, what? Like, that was the product we were selling. And so I told her no, and she kept coming back. And one day I just had it. But I also, through praying, I got this message of, you're struggling and there's an opportunity and you're throwing it away. Who do you think you are?
Right.
And at that moment I said, I'm just going to do this. And
God didn't want you to join an MLM. There you go. Yeah, you're struggling and you're missing this opportunity to stay working at the newspaper or the news place, wherever you were working with that person that you didn't like, your first boss out of college that you didn't get along with. Damn girl. I mean, it worked out for her because she is who she is.
And I signed up, and really quickly I just applied the work ethic that I already had within me into this vehicle. And within 3 months, I had earned a car by the company.
Oh, wow.
And I was making like, $10,000 within my first 3 months when I was used to making $1,400.
Right.
And there was these huge shifts in my life. And I always say, like, God works fast. Like, when you're ready for change and you lean into the change.
But that's the key point. You have to lean in. See?
This is the beginning of Monate. This is, it was taking off. It wasn't saturated. It didn't have a bad rep. MLMs were still popular. Like, it's a different time now. It wasn't God.
opportunity. Most people ignore it because it comes dressed in overalls and it looks like work, right? But you have to put in the effort.
Yeah.
And you did. Like you said, okay, don't get me wrong, you had some resistance.
Yeah.
To recruit. Let's be clear, the work was to recruit people. To get paid. The company doesn't pay you. Your downline pays you.
Which is normal because it's a new language to you and it's a new experience for you. And you already had an idea of who you were at that moment, right? We all have our own perceptions of ourselves, the uniforms we wear, if you will. But you were faced with an opportunity and you took action. You actually went out there and started doing it. And because of that, you got results, right? What was the most critical thing you learned in those first few months of experiencing a brand new way of making a living?
I learned that life is good. I learned that no matter what rut you're in, there's another page, and there's another chapter.
Life is good when you don't care about anyone but yourself. When you prioritize your experience above everyone else's. You know? I suppose life is good when all those things happen. But if you have the empathy to see and feel what other people are doing and what they're experiencing, you know, life is not that good. In fact, it's pretty cruel unless you have knowledge that you do not share with people.
And so, like, you're based on your decisions. And there were so many times when I looked back and said, I almost didn't do this. Like, this is insane. I was so close to not doing it because of what would people think, or because of, oh, is it gonna, you know, am I gonna look silly? And I just want to remind you guys that the masses are not gonna have the mindset of the 1%.
Correct.
Like,
So you know that network marketing is only 1% successful. So she knows that, and she's okay with it. And I know you don't care about looking silly, obviously. But it's not just that you look silly. You look ruthless. You look... I would say these days, she looks unintelligent because of what she spouts about what she thinks is happening with the media and the government and all that sort of stuff. She's not very smart. You know? And she's not going to have her looks forever. Or maybe she will, I don't know. But, yeah.
Get it. And the people that don't.
And they never will.
And they never will. You know, and I always had this idea of network marketing because of what other people said, but all these people were people that had no success. And then when I achieved huge things in the industry, I had all these very successful friends from other areas of life, and they were all like, go Veronica.
Absolutely.
You know, these...
I thought that you were your own best friend. Who was telling you to go Veronica, successful friends? And they didn't help you out when you were struggling as a news reporter? Interesting.
Successful people are cheering me on because they know that the only way to get to that level is through resilience.
Oh, yes.
Like nonstop, you wake up every single day with this one mission to get ahead. You don't even know exactly where it is that you're going, but you're just giving your whole energy to pursuing the next level and the next.
To do the things you don't want to do because they have to be done.
Yeah.
And just have resilience to go through it. One of the things it's self-identity, but a reflection of what you believe other people believe of you. How did you get through that? Like, did you read any books? Did you have mentors that helped you through that process? Like, what was it? Because I know that there are so many people that struggle with that. Even people who have hit certain milestones, they plateau. Necessary to get to the next level.
I think about...
She plateaued as well. Are you kidding?
Person to ask that question, and I'll tell you why. Like when you grow up feeling like the person who gave birth to you doesn't love you, and you recognize that you could survive without that love, you really don't care what anyone thinks about you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but that's not the case for most people.
That was not profound in any way. Like, that's fairly obvious. And also, I saw how when she did her announcement, like, she did a whole post about her mum. I do not believe her. I don't believe her. I feel like she's using other people's stories. That's just my opinion. This guy's very easily impressed.
case for most people. So now I'll take it one step deeper.
Okay.
So what I recognize through maturity and through becoming a woman is that it's not that my mother didn't love me, is that she had so many traumas of her own that she didn't know how to express the love.
Right.
Therefore, any negative emotions that she ever brought into my life, they were forgiven because they weren't intentional, and she did the best she could. Mm-hmm. So if right now you're putting all this focus on what someone thinks about you.
Yeah, because you need to know what people are saying and thinking about you when you're in network marketing, obviously, because it's one, you have to be spammy. It's embarrassing because everything's about sales and you have transactional relationships. Like, there's that. And also, so people are going to think you're a scammer. So of course you have to not care what someone else thinks, right? Of course. And, she said, from what she's just said, it means she has forgiven her mother or whatever, because she does have a relationship with her mother, and she does have, she's basically saying, when she said, I had to take care of myself, I had to support myself, except my father was able to help me out. It's like, my mother neglected me and she didn't love me, but now we're good because I forgave her. I'm like, it's very convenient, in my opinion.
Like, that person doesn't even know what they think about themselves.
Exactly.
They're probably, if they have the time and energy to talk bad about you or to try and crush your dreams, it's because they don't have dreams of their own. Right. So for me...
Wrong. She thinks she's so smart. I criticize you because I think that you are a poor example of somebody in an MLM, somebody who uses and deceptive means to make money from them. And you're also very conservative with views that basically mean you would like my best friends to be non-existent. So for that, she can go fuck herself, all right? But I have dreams. I know who I am. That's her limitation as well, to think that, I am the enlightened one because I've done so much self-development and I've read the books and I've listened to the podcasts and things. And I've been told my haters are just jealous and they have trauma. Yeah, I've got trauma, but it's got nothing to do with why I talk about her. It's just, I think it may be easier for them to process why people talk badly. I don't think she's talking about me here. She's just talking about generally in life. But, I'm taking the opportunity to tell you I do have dreams.
I just really don't care. Mm-hmm. The real ones are going to see whatever, even if it's someone that doesn't respect the industry that I'm in. Mm-hmm. But then they meet me, yes, and then they have to do like math. Yeah. 1 + 1 =
exactly.
2. Like, if she's such a cool person.
Yeah.
Does she think she's the only relatable network marketer? Oh my god. She is so unrelatable. Such a snob. She's terrible. Like, she is just not a very good person at all. This is delusional. You don't know yourself. Absolutely not.
And there must be something about the industry, a perspective that I haven't been able to see because I've never done it and I've never experienced it. And I've had a lot of people that have never been able to see the industry from my perspective. And I have friends that tell me, hey, you could do whatever you want. Like, why don't you start your own company, your own product, all of this? I know I could do that.
Right.
I'm not a self-limiting belief. The reason why I work for another company, the reason why I do it is because it comes with a lot less headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But said that you're doing it to help people, surely. Before I've heard her say that. I've heard her say it. I just want to help people. Start a non-profit. Except she would have some non-profit that was like, that does, conversion therapy or something like that. Ooh. I'll help you detrans your child. Because she's awful. Let's tell us again why you're in a company.
Manufacture the product. Mm-hmm.
Also, you did try to do something all on your own last year. Wilbur, you can't go anywhere, buddy. Just stay there, please. Yeah, hi, Fifi. I'm going to light her up. This is my light. Can you see her? Oh, hi, Fee. Hi, Fee. There we go. There's a baby. Hello, Fifi. Yeah, you did actually try to do your own thing, Veronica. You tried to sell real estate because you thought you were a really good salesperson. You're not a very good salesperson. You're just good at recruiting and convincing people because you can tell a story. You can spin a yarn like this.
I don't ship. I don't have to have a huge team of people that, the people that are on my team, they're their own business owners.
Correct.
I mentor them and I guide them, but their success is up to them versus having to live a life where, business is the main thing. And I'm a female. I want to be a mom. I want to be able to work from home.
You can do all that and have a business that is not network marketing. Plenty of people have done it before, Veronica.
As much as I love producing and making money, I want to make it on my way. And I found that this industry is genius.
Because you have no ethics or morals. Yeah, it's genius, all right.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I think that a lot of people don't understand.
Dude, you have a microphone. Bend down and put your fucking face, or move the mic. Can't hear you.
Understand the industry as a whole. So let's dive into it for a moment. Like, from your perspective, what is the industry? What is it all about?
So network marketing just gives anyone the chance. Like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You could have a degree. You could live under a bridge. It gives you the opportunity to represent their product.
You could live under a bridge? Sorry, I couldn't get to the pause button quickly enough. You can have a degree, or you can live under a bridge. I've never heard anyone say live under a bridge. Yeah, we love those troll MLMers. I don't know if there's too many luxury hair brands or luxury, MLM brands that'd enjoy the person who's living under the bridge selling their product, but
You can market their product in whatever form you'd like. So the most genius thing is to partner with a product that you're absolutely obsessed with.
Right.
So currently I partnered with this brand that's all about pure and potent oils, and I know the research, and in my mind, like,
yeah? What research? Because research on essential oils is basically that they are good for just basically for aromatherapy. That's it. They cannot do anything else. If they are doing something else, it's a placebo. And if you're about to say that, like, something about it's like or whatever, everything's chemicals. We'll see where she goes.
like what they're selling is just genius.
You're 100% behind it.
Oh my God. And so is my husband, like my whole household.
Right.
And
There's only your whole household is just you and your husband. 2 dogs.
you partner with a company like that, now they say, okay, now you have the ability to build a sales force.
Right.
So I could go off and sell 1 million products, which I do because I want to help as many people as I can.
Pretty bold to say that you've sold 1 million products.
But I'm also thinking strategically as a business owner, how do I make money while I sleep?
Right.
Well, if I recruit people in Europe as, part of my sales force.
Different time zones.
Different
Exactly.
time zones. I'm sleeping, they're selling.
Uh-huh.
And I wake up and I'm getting commissions on everything that's in my downline. So what is it? It's a regular industry as in real estate, right? You've got your brokers, you've got your realtors.
Exactly.
People.
It's not the same as real estate. It's a false equivalence fallacy. Ugh.
The idea of it's a pyramid scheme, and they don't recognize that everything is a pyramid scheme.
No, it's not. That's another fallacy. Because of the direction of the money. Fucking hell. She's hitting us with everything.
Like you have the CEO, you have the
Exactly.
managers, the administrators, etc.
It's about the way the money flows. In a pyramid scheme, it flows from the bottom. In everything else, it flows from the top.
So industry is just very accepting.
Yeah.
And it gives anyone a free slate, and there are
Yeah, because it has to. Because they need to do that. Because they need people constantly.
genius people that just have had zero opportunities in life. And I've met some people that could scrub the floors as if their life depended on it. And that's their work ethic. And if they bring that work ethic into this vehicle, which is what happened to me.
Exactly.
Work ethic has never been something I lacked, but I had it in all the wrong vehicles. And I just applied it to the right vehicle. And, I made my first million at 25 years old. How?
Off the backs of your downline. That's how you made $1 million. And if you're talking about becoming an NBC, million dollar, we'll go. You can't go anywhere. Yeah, it means nothing. That $1 million is out of the pockets of your downline, working hard as well. Acknowledge that. That's not you. That's them.
Do you not grow passionate about that?
Exactly.
How do you not see this? Not everyone has the vision.
Absolutely.
Not everyone has the work ethic. But the few that do, if they land in the right vehicle, it changes their life.
When you look at that,
Yeah, because they can take money that's been scammed off people. It doesn't happen for everybody because of the business model, because it cannot happen for everybody.
landing in the right vehicle, like how did you go about, without obviously naming names, but how did you go about actually selecting the right vehicle for you? Because that's another common question that people who are investigating the industry, like, what do I do? What products are the ones that I should be promoting?
That's interesting. Well, she told you the story, dickhead. Her sister, it didn't matter. The product doesn't matter. Honestly, that's why it's like a pyramid scheme. She wasn't passionate about crypto. Come on now. I wonder if she'll say that. And yeah, the essential oils are convenient for her because she can pretend to be woo-woo. But yeah, she could have gone to Amari as well. I think the thing that got her with doTERRA was her uplines who were Spanish speaking and conservative, doing like their little grift of getting people visas and things like that and then getting them into the business. She loved that. She likes those sort of scammy, schemy things. So that's why she joined them, in my opinion. You know, I'm going to go and get dinner and come back and do the rest of this soon. I wonder if my internet is back on. I don't know. All right. Look, I got a light for the dogs. They're all up there at the moment. 9 days. Oh no, Wilbur's somewhere. Oh, Wilbur's in his crate. That's so cute. I am getting interviewed in about 20 minutes. Half an hour. About an hour. Okay, I don't know where the sound went on this particular clip, but we need to watch it. It's only like about 5 minutes, I think.
But the few that do, if they land in the right vehicle, it changes their life.
When you look at that, landing in the right vehicle, like how did you go about, without obviously naming names, but how did you go about actually selecting the right vehicle for you? Because that's another common question that people who are investigating the industry, like, what do I do? What products are the ones that I should be?
Oh, I should probably not cover her. That was really easy for that one because her sister was selling Monate. That's why. Genius, I have no idea. And doTERRA, I think, because of who her upline was.
Promoting what is it? Because it's very akin to like affiliate marketing, right? Because it's a similar concept. You're taking someone else's product and you're basically positioning it out. But unlike affiliate marketing, you're actually creating an ecosystem of other entrepreneurs with you. Yep, that's why it's not like affiliate marketing. Yep, that's called recruiting. That's the difference between MLMs and every other company. Yeah.
So, and this doesn't even have to apply to network marketing. Even if you're an employee and you're choosing a company to work for, what I've learned in this, because I just chose a company, right? I made a switch and all of this.
Not the first one, though. You just went with whatever your sister was doing. Also, she's not even 30 yet. Tell us all about your life experience. It's going to change our lives. Sure.
And there was so much like pressure to make the right decision because the reason why I had a fallout with where I got all my success was because of this shift in values. So that's where my answer came from. Like you.
Really? I don't know about that. I remember when you left, she even said, I will use these products forever. So if you weren't on board about it, then why would you continue to use the products? And also, her sister is still in that company. If it's such a bad company, why would your sister still be in it? Like I said, you know my theory. She was terminated.
You want to work with a company that shares your values. So in your heart, what's the most important thing to you?
Right.
For me, it's healing. It's whether it's healing through faith, healing through health, the food you eat. And I just felt the heart of this company in a way that I felt safe. You know, in
other words, you didn't feel safe at the other places? And also, what are your qualifications to be a healer? Because I don't think you have any. And you have had time to study, to get more qualifications. You know, if you really want to help people, become a nurse. Or fund something like that, you know? Anyway, back to Tish from yesterday.
food you eat. And I just felt the heart of this company in a way that I felt safe. You know, there's times where I've worked in places that I didn't feel safe, where you know that if you have a slight mess up or you say one wrong thing, like you're out. They don't care. You're a number. You're there to make them money. And if you're not making them money or if you're thinking differently than them, you are a trigger. And that is a scary place to work in because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't own my own business.
No, you don't. You're a 1099 contractor. You're a salesperson. Also, you're just a number at doTERRA as well. You were just a number at iGenius. You were just a number at Monate. Definitely. You're not special. No, not one bit. And neither am I. It is what it is. But just to have this, you know, like, it feels very much like she's on her high horse, you know? And you're not a business owner.
They're owners of the companies. So at the same time, I know that, you know, essentially you can lose it all. So how do you make sure you don't lose it all?
You can lose it. Yeah, it's true. Like when you got terminated at Monate, maybe.
And you know, the hours that you put into building the business are actually worth it. Well, you find a company.
Building the business, aka recruiting people into your team. That's what it is.
Shares your heart. And that's what happened. I found a company that believed in you know, how pure the products are, a company that gives like farmers all around the world jobs because they work directly with them. So it's like we're not having a middleman, we're working directly. And those are my values, right? If I was someone who highly just valued a comp plan, who highly just valued the dollars coming in my pocket, I would have made a different decision. Because there are companies with better comp plans. So the most important part in life, I think, is just understanding who you are. And what are your needs? You know, and your needs don't have to be my needs. Perhaps when I talk, someone cringes because they're like, oh my God, this girl, you know?
Accurate.
I found out my needs and I ended up in a place that makes a lot of sense for me.
You're being your authentic self. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that earlier, the concept of authenticity. And as it flows into everything that you do, you align with the right people. See, one of the things I really like about the industry is that you are incentivized to help other people do well.
Yes.
Right? So I'm kind of curious, like,
Yeah. That is the basis of the entire system. You're incentivized to help other people become successful. Yep. Again, you're talking about the downline. You aren't helping them out of the kindness of your heart. You're helping them because you're going to get paid for it. And you will get paid, but you can't guarantee that they will. Which is crap.
how do you actually go about doing that? Like, what is your methodology by which you instill some of the learnings that you've been fortunate to have in life? Like, how do you give that to other people?
So I want to ask you a question real quick to see if we're on the same page. So why do you think the majority of people can't find success?
Most of the time, it's mindset.
There you go.
Yeah.
So my
There you go. Now I've already done this rant because that made me really angry, but it's not the system, is it? It's the mindset. The person can't get there because of mindset. I think that there's an element of mindset for people who are in the 1% and stay. Their mindset is, I don't care where my money comes from. I know that my downline might be hurting in paying for my lifestyle, but I'm okay with that, you know? Which is just so gross. Like, so gross. And the way that they both said it, like, ugh, it's terrible. Just the smugness, you know, like, there you go. Yeah, those poor people, they have the bad mindset. They're not successful like me. Ugh.
Which the systems are already all laid out. And thankfully I joined a company that it's not brand new. So we've got like online courses that teach you, okay, in network marketing, this is how you build from A through Z. These are the 5 major things you need to focus on, the breakdown. I mean, just someone that puts themselves through that course, you have the whole rundown. My thing is, as a leader, I need to instill in people the self-belief that they lack.
Yes.
Because that is what people can't get over. It's like seeing the work, understanding what they need to do, but being so afraid that they're going to fail that they never take that first step forward. And I love to normalize failure.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know,
you should actually embrace it.
Embrace it and letting everyone on my team.
Yeah, you should normalize and embrace failure because 99% of people are going to fail. So getting them used to that is a very good idea. It's a very good way of indoctrinating them into your team mentality. And, you know, like, if you do that, you can employ manipulation techniques such as using the sunk cost fallacy, you know, convincing them, look, don't give up now. You've already put out this money. You don't want to waste your money, you know, like, it's an investment. You'll get a payoff in the end. You can borrow my belief, you know, all of this shit that they say and do to make you think that you can be successful. But it's okay if you're not successful straight away, because it'll come. Just have faith, you know.
Just see my journey and make myself as far from perfect as possible, because then they recognize, well, Veronica's so human and she's still finding success. And on my days where I'm frazzled and I'm like not having a good day, I'll even like let them in. Not enough where they lose respect for me,
Correct.
but enough where they understand that, hey, you don't need to be perfect to make it. So I think that the most genius thing is that mindset piece, but also I think it's so important to build loyalty, because when you build loyalty with your people, they're going to work at a different rate than they will if they just sign up with you and they can tell that they're just another number.
Yeah, you do need to build loyalty because, again, that adds to expecting failure and sunk cost fallacy and keeping them indoctrinated. You know, keeping them loyal also can come in handy for when you need to move to another company. So, I hate it.
Curious, what's your particular secret to success in building loyalty? Like, how do you go about doing that?
I really just think that it's like having my heart available in conversations and showing people that I care. And how do you do that? Well, when you're having a conversation, it's different if you're like pacing around or like you choose a phone call over a Zoom. Like when I sign up someone new, I'm like, no, it has to be a Zoom.
Exactly.
Like I want you to see me. Yes. I want to see you. I want to connect. I want to ask you questions about your life.
For what purpose? So you can use it to manipulate them. Find out their why, and then you're going to use it later when they start expressing negative thoughts or saying that they might leave. You bring up their why. What about your kids? What, you're going to give them tennis lessons or whatever it is?
Just going to tell you, well, this is how you build this business. No, I need to understand who you are, and I need to understand what your needs are. And when you ask people those deeper questions, they're like, whoa, like this person cares about me.
Level of connection, exactly.
And that's it. And what is sales? I mean, there's different forms of sales, right? There's the transactional sales, but there's also just like the connection. Like there are people who buy from me, they don't even know me, but I've given them so much value through my social media, and I've shared with them my health journey of like removing my breast implants and root canals. And
oh, she's got like some weird dentist conspiracy theory. How do you know that you're giving them value if they don't? Like that's really, I give them so much value on my social media. How are you gauging that? Because that sounds like it's a bit hard to track, you know?
to health, and then they say, well, if Veronica's believing in these products and I've witnessed her journey to health, I'm going to believe in them too. And that's it. I care about people for real, so there's no way to fake it.
Right.
If you're someone that just doesn't, then you just have to do something
Do
else,
something
right?
else, exactly.
Like
if
go
it's not
work on your
aligned
own.
with who you are, it isn't what it is.
Exactly. And not everyone's meant to grow in this industry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a place for everyone in the world.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in taking your life and your business to the next...
Not everybody's meant to grow in this industry. Correct. That is the entire premise of network marketing. That it is made for only certain people to succeed. And the rest, tough luck.
Yeah.
These are the types of places that you want to be. When you look at the journey as of late, obviously you've gone through a transition. You were at one company, now you're at another. I'm curious, like, what identity shifts did you have to go through in order to make that change for yourself?
So many. And I just want to say, like, your environment matters. Because you could be someone in your heart, but if you're around people that move differently, you can't shine in your true authenticity because there's these expectations to be like everyone that's around you. And I feel like when I walked away from where I initially grew and I had that time to just like sit with my heart and recognize, like, why did you feel the need to leave so bad? Because it wasn't that well thought out, you know? I learned a lot of lessons, but like I just booked it. Like from one day to another, everything that I had put under the rug just like came up and I was like, I need to run. And I ran.
That's interesting. I mean, we know my theory that she was fired. Interesting.
And through that, I recognized, you know, what's important for me. And I'm not, the leader that I am today is nowhere near who I was before.
Right.
Because before it's like I always wanted to be this caliber of leader,
Okay.
but no one around me was exuding that. So I felt like, well, I'm the oddball. Like I'm doing too much.
Right.
Veronica's upline is her sister. So she wasn't a good leader, a good caliber leader. And the way she's talking about this is like, I wasn't the caliber that I am today, saying she thinks she's a high caliber leader. Wrong.
I think that now I recognize that I don't need to compare myself to the number one income earner in the company because they could have achieved that level of success, but not have the fulfillment that I desire in my heart. So this time around, I just feel like I'm actually me and I'm building without any expectations of what anyone thinks about me. And I'm going to be the leader that I wish I could have. And thankfully, I ended up aligning. The way I ended up in this company was insane. Like, let me just say that. Like, when God has divine alignment for you, it happens.
It just works, yes.
I was at a real estate event, and it was a lawyer who is a top earner with his wife in this company.
Wow.
And I ended up talking to him like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about going back into the industry. I'm flying to Utah to meet X company. And he's like, my company is based out of Utah. My wife and I are top earners. I think you're incredible, and I think you would love it. And I was like, what? What are the chances?
Yes.
But, you know, just I think that the evolution happens when you allow yourself to reflect hard and be honest with yourself. Because the way that I left wasn't the best way either. There were learning lessons through every single phase of it. And now I'm just someone who's embraced those lessons. And I know what's good about me and I know what's bad. And just being a more intentional leader, I think would be the word.
You said something a few moments ago, and I don't think I want to gloss over it because I think it's really critically important. And it was the word fulfillment. Because if you look at the things that most people strive for in life, if you could boil it down to one word, I think it's that word. But what is it for you?
Fulfillment for me is honestly just like peace.
Okay.
You know, when you're doing things for a result that isn't like a pure one, you'll never have fulfillment. Right. So if you're in a business partnership, simply because, you know, this person can introduce you to the next person that's going to make you the next million, but it's conditional. Right. It's not because I just love what I'm doing. And there are people, it's my husband inspired me to think this way. My husband works every hour of the day. Like, honestly, like I thought I was a workaholic, and then I married him and I was like, whoa, dude, can you just chill for 1 second? Just please relax. But he tells me, he's like, honey, when you are so passionate about what you're doing, you're never working.
Exactly.
And I think that that's where that fulfillment piece is found in work, when you actually give yourself the space to pursue what your heart is telling you is for you.
Exactly.
You know, there are people in banking who are amazing painters and they wish they could be a painter and their fulfillment would be in that, but they're chasing the money. So they need to settle for this idea of, okay, I live a good life, I make a good income, but they've got this feeling inside of, I should be doing something else. You got to follow your heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's great if you can afford it. But to compare painting being their passion and your passion is network marketing, you're chasing money too. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend. I think it's unrealistic to expect to be 100%. My job is amazing. I love it. It's the best. It's the best. Like, it's unrealistic to love your job completely and do that thing where if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's like, no, sometimes it's shitty. Sometimes it's not fun. And I can definitely relate to that at the moment. But I'm optimistic as well. But I don't know. It's just so easy to say something like this when you have a Maserati and so much money. Everybody else just has to go to work because they can't not go to work.
At the end of the day.
The absence of fulfillment, I think, is the one thing that most people experience that truly leads to ruin, right? Like if you're not in a state of fulfillment, you make major mistakes in life. You do things that, quite frankly, will not lead to joy or happiness. So when you're looking at the people that you support, because again, you're building now a community of entrepreneurs within your team, like how do you help them to learn about this concept of fulfillment?
I think you lead people by example.
Okay.
And when they see that you're actually someone that shows up in good spirits, that wants to help, they recognize like, whoa, this actually exists and I could become that if I follow her path. And it doesn't have to be my path in specific, but it's, the authenticity that I wake up every morning with to be who I want to be and do what I want to do. And, when you tell someone to be something, I think their brain doesn't take it in as well as when they just see someone embodying something.
Exactly.
Like, have you ever watched someone just walk by and their energy is so contagious?
Oh, yes.
And that's all I want to be for my people. And how do I do that? Well, by taking care of me first and, prioritizing the things that are important, and they can see it. I think that's it. People.
Minnie has a little pimple on her nose, I think. But, yeah, I know. I can't imagine that Veronica's self-care makes anyone else feel good as well. Kind of weird.
Be led by people that are leading themselves first.
Ooh, that's key.
Yeah.
People want to be led by leaders.
Yeah. And they're
people want to be led by leaders. This just in, the sky is blue.
leaders right now.
Gosh, yes.
So
when you look at your journey, obviously at this point, you're making a transition. What do you see is on the horizon for you? Like, where do you see the next 2 to 5 years?
I just want to impact so many lives. And before, it was never about the other lives, I will say.
Okay.
Before, it was about my life. Because I was, the one that was broke and with the pain and not knowing the possibilities. So everything that I accomplished in the past was about saving myself. I'm already saved. And even if I don't have the huge checks that I used to have, because now they're a work in progress again,
Right.
I know in my heart that I could achieve whatever I want. I have the abundance mindset. I've already seen the possibilities. So my goal now is just being able, through me being a light, attract other people that can go on the same journey and experience it for themselves, and then let that ripple effect continue. So my goals right now are just like stay on track and stay focused, because building is hard.
Yes.
Like going back to square zero, it's like I haven't slept in a few weeks since launch. I'm like nonstop, but it's exciting.
That's interesting. So this must have been pretty fresh. And when because she's not talking about being pregnant. She did talk about having children, but, Veronica, why do you have to work so hard in the beginning? What is the benefit? Because there's a bunch of fast starts and things like that you'd like to qualify for.
It's exciting because there's a bigger purpose. And how I told you, like the company I'm aligned with, their purpose alone is so ginormous that being a voice for that, to grow that purpose and let people know what we're doing and why we're doing it, it has a great impact on the world. So
What do you think the biggest roadblock is going to be for you to achieve the things you want to achieve?
I never think like that.
Okay. Okay, so there's no roadblocks. No roadblocks ahead.
I just think with time, everything unfolds.
Okay.
She's so positive. My God. Peak positivity. God damn. I don't think like that.
I think patience. Patience is probably the most important thing, because when you've been at a certain level and then you're like on the rise again, you're like, oh, I just want to be there. But I think that's, it's all taken care of. And I think that there are two mindsets. People look at problems and they stay stuck on those and they reevaluate the problem and reevaluate. I'm like a solution kind of person.
Okay.
You tell me there's something wrong and automatically my brain fires like 3 different things that we can do, and then my brain fires what's the best possibility.
She's peak human. She's amazing, don't you know? Smartest person in the room. She's just brilliant.
What could have the best outcome? Okay, let's do that.
I love it.
You know, and when you think about the roadblocks, I feel like they become real.
Okay.
You know, for
Yes.
me, it's like one day at a time.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, so why think so far ahead? It's a little morbid, but it's the truth.
I get it. When you're looking at the career, obviously the path that you've been on, you've had a lot of things that have gone on in your life. You've had the big paycheck days, you've had the struggling days. And if you look at the things that have been most important to you, like how would you categorize that?
Oh my God, spit it
If you
out.
had to say, these are the things that have happened to me in my life. These are things that have been most transformative for me. These are the things I'm so most grateful for. Like, how would you organize that list?
Simple. The 2 most important things. Who you keep around. So like the quality of the people.
Yes.
Because these people around you can make you or break you. These people around you can make you feel like you're limitless or powerless. Quality of people to God.
I knew she was going to
That's it. I don't need anything else.
Wow. This is awesome. One of the things I like to do with everyone who comes here is I like to jump into like a thought exercise. So if you wouldn't mind, would you like to indulge me?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to imagine for a moment that you have the ability to go back in time to visit with a younger version of Veronica. And you can go back at any point in your lifetime and you can
She's going to say, I wouldn't change a thing. I bet. Go, trust yourself, trust your gut. Do it for you. I think it's going to be a completely selfish message. That's what I think. This guy's like gushing over her BT dubs. I hate it. What am I doing, girlies? The girlies are down here. They're waiting for me to finish my pie.
share one piece of practical wisdom with her, where would you go? Meaning, at what age would you go to visit yourself? What was going on in your life in that moment? And what's the wisdom that you would share?
I would say, you know, ever since I can remember, like 5 or 6,
Okay.
I started judging my mom at a very young age.
Okay.
And a lot of turbulence came from that judgment. And I would just tell my young self, like, hey, she's in so much more pain than you are. And, like, just people are doing the best that they can. And what someone makes you feel is not a reflection of them. Like, you're internalizing those feelings. Like, I was making things that didn't have to be real so real. And
Also, that's completely useless, by the way, because a child doesn't understand that, can't understand it. Doesn't matter if you tell them. The way that I know that is just being a teacher and talking to kids about bullying. Even when they are 12, maybe I've talked to 11-year-olds, I'm not 100% sure if we've had any 11-year-olds, but, you know, like, I've talked to a lot of kids who have been bullied, and I tell them, you know, like, no one can bully me. I think I'm pretty good. You know, I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst, and I only respect the opinion of people who I respect. So I don't care what anyone else thinks of me. And I try to convince them of that. It's like, but do you like that person? No. Then who cares what they think about you? But children can't make that logical decision. They can't connect those two thoughts. All they see is cause and effect. It's a higher order thinking. So that would be pretty pointless to go and say that to her, to the 5 or 6-year-old. Maybe tell teenager Veronica, you know.
so painful in my
So many of us do that, though, right?
Yes. And it causes so much pain that doesn't need to be there because we just think about like, oh, they're hurting me, and it's like that's not even their intention.
Right.
So I think that was
Sometimes
a
it
lesson
is.
that I learned that just allowed me to have so much freedom. You know, there are times where my mom, she still does things that I'm like, why are you doing this, Mom? But now I see it from such a different perspective that it's like, it's all love, and I just pray for her, and I'm always like, I just want to see her find the level of fulfillment that thankfully I've found. And, you know, she must have done something right because I became the woman that I became.
Absolutely.
And not only me, my sisters too. Like, we're all successful, and
Your other sister, one of your sisters is in my night. You're network marketers. You're successful at what cost, you know?
it's amazing, you know, just going back and telling myself that I think would have made a world of a difference. but then I probably wouldn't have became the woman I am today.
Struggle is an important part of learning, right?
Yeah.
They say a baby learns to crawl because its toys are just out of reach. So at the end of the day, it's a component of real education.
Yes.
I'm curious because the whole thought exercise is usually a two-parter, and I'd like you to be able to imagine for a moment that a future version of Veronica now has come back to visit with us in this moment, and she has the opportunity to share a piece of practical wisdom with you sitting here today. What does she share?
Thank you for following your heart.
Wow.
Because it's been hard. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm sharing, you know, from a good place, but this past year has been a lot. And there were days where I was so overwhelmed with the decisions that I had to make, with also for the first time in my life, I feel like I actually cared what other people thought, because now I had built this brand and all these people that looked at me with this expectation, and sometimes the weight on my shoulders felt so heavy, and there were easier decisions I could have made, you know, to just keep the image. But I said, no, I will not live a happy life if I just live for the image of what people are going to think. And I chose to follow my heart. And right now I'm in the middle of it. And I know that right now.
The poor story. I'm so sorry. What do you mean? She hasn't changed. She's still the same.
Feel amazing. You know, after a year of a lot of turbulence, now I feel like I'm in a place of so much alignment, and the relationships that have came into my life as a result of leaving old ones behind have been so much more in line with who I am in my heart, you know, not the woman that I portrayed on the journey to become successful. Because that woman, she had to exist. You know, the boss babe, the relentless, this whole identity that's, oh my God, it's so toxic. You can't even get me started on that. Because I'm like, we're females. At the end of the day, we're females. And we have to also embrace that role that got so lost in the boss babe culture. But yeah.
What does being, we're females, like, you're prone to that? Because that's not true. Because there's also men who are boss babes. They're probably more extreme boss babes, actually.
I would just say I'm happy for you for following your heart, and you're going to achieve things that you couldn't even imagine. And that dream that I've had since I was a little girl of changing the world, like today, it feels more real than ever. And I know that in 10 years, I'm going to have done something that's going to impact so many lives, and not just from the network marketing business side. Like, I want to truly impact people across the world who don't have food, who don't.
Then you better not vote Republican. They want to take food away from people. You know, like, they don't care about children once they're born. They don't care about a child's life when it's in the womb. Yeah. Being in network marketing is not a way to end world hunger. How delusional you are.
Water, because it blows my mind the amount of money and success that some of us have, and we're so consumed by our needs that we forget the needs of literally our brothers and sisters all around the world.
Veronica, do you have a Maserati? Do you have an $80,000 car? Yeah? Tell us again about how you're redistributing your wealth. Tell us again about your socialist dream that you're describing right now. Where does that fit in with you voting for Trump?
Suffering. So yeah, I would tell myself that.
I love that, because I honestly, I echo that. I believe that if you are fortunate to actually benefit from the effort and energy that you put into the world, you're a steward of those resources, and you have to use them practically and for the betterment of everyone, right? Not just yourself and your family. Because the world is abundant. Everything that comes from the concepts, the byproducts, if you will, of success, it's all abundance. And if you put it out into the universe, it has a way of coming back tenfold.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't do the first time around. Like, I think so many times about just the dumb ways I spent my money, you know? And
we all go through this.
right? Thankfully, all my successful friends tell me, Veronica, don't beat yourself up. It's round 2. Exactly. Like, you got this. And now I have all these structures.
Yeah, isn't that so good? When you can have a round 2 of earning so much money. Isn't it very relatable? Oh my God, I can't believe how much money I blew on things. Now it's round 2 and I get to earn money, and like, I'm going to put it away and make it accumulate for myself, right? One thing I am surprised that she hasn't mentioned, really, is having children. Like, that's what I thought her future self was going to talk about. But, you know, like, your family is beautiful. That's what she might say, but she hasn't even mentioned that. So it's kind of like interesting that she hasn't. She's said that she wants to have children, but it's not the focus. No, Minnie, no. Minnie wants to come and sit behind me, but I don't want to be uncomfortable. No. She wasn't even coming over. She just did like a little doggy burp.
Set up and this intentionality behind, what money means and what we're going to do with it. But yeah, I mean, if there's any advice, if you're like someone that's just starting and you're making your first big checks, be wise.
Yes.
Right? Because it's such a tool and
Yes.
you could use it in so many ways. And
Why do people do that, Veronica? Why do they have those spendings? Because that's how you do income claims. Because you want to show people that you are earning that money. That is your sneaky way of showing your downline, oh, look, you could be like me and get this Louis Vuitton bag or whatever,
so silly to spend it on designer and diamonds and all these things. And it's more done in South Florida, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or in these big cities, you feel like you need to play this role, and it's like, what role are you playing?
Exactly. The vast majority of people don't think about you after you're out of their sight.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, why do you care what they think about you?
Exactly.
I love it. I'm so happy for you. I think that the transition that you're going through is a remarkable one. I think that it's going to lead to outcomes that you can't even imagine yet. So the adventure is going to be just that, an adventure. Just live it and enjoy it.
Thank you.
No, the audience, I'm sure, has loved everything you've shared. And I'm curious, like, if they wanted to reach out to you and connect with you in any way, like, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I built my brand on social, on Instagram in particular. So find me at the Veronica Schreier, and I'm really good with my DMs. I've had periods in my life where I had like an assistant handling it. Now I'm back. I'm always on the DMs, and I also have a podcast, so you will find it through my page, and I try to give as much value. So definitely, if you do end up following me, get ready to hear about the journey, whether it's building my business or building my faith. I think it's so important to share, right? Because
Absolutely.
if we're going on a journey, why not bring others along?
Absolutely. Well, Veronica, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being your authentic self, as you always are. And I've gotten a lot of value out of the conversation. And I know you've gotten a lot of value out of this conversation as well.
Just looking
I'm so
straight
happy
at
you were
us.
here for it. My name is Edward Collins. I'm your host, Entrepreneur Unleashed. I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Veronica, thank you so much. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That's weird.
I'm so happy you were here for it.
Okay, that's better. I want a screenshot for my thumbnail. Did I save this one? Let me check. Yes, I did. Look at, she's so intense in this picture. And then they go, that was awesome! That was awesome! Ew. I hated all of that. I hated it. Oh, my internet is still not... What's happening? I hate it. Why is my internet working? Oh well. Okay. So, what do you think, people? Hey, Minnie. Minnie. Yeah, that was terrible. I think my opinion of Veronica is extremely clear. She's terrible. And do I think that she's the same leader as she was at Moon 8? No.
Here for it.
But I think that she is possibly more dangerous as far as politics and things like that. She's got very strong opinions. She's got money to lobby or to assist and throw around her weight in political matters. Yeah, so have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot of Donald Trump on her Instagram, probably. Yeah, alright, well, that's it. Pray for my internet, everybody. And the biggest feedback I can give to this dude is stop moving away from the microphone. Thank you. Alright, we shall hopefully see you soon. I would like to do another live stream, maybe 2 this week, I don't know. But do a live stream and finish the Doug and Tia podcast. And I have a video of John Melton and Taylor Kirby. And I think that's going to be really crazy, like loose cannon because that energy together, crazy. So, take care, alright? And I'll see you. It'd be nice if you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a little comment, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye. Thank you to the Echo members. On our Gremlins tier, we've got Rosie Path of Stone, The Eclectic Mima, Lisa Hance, Lynn Wee, Mountain Crystal, Rotro Rachel, Danny Mestas, and Tariq Strudwick. On our Ghost tier, we've got Demi, The Clown Town, and Katie Murph. Thanks guys, love you.